Hey, hope you have enjoyed the last video. So I have come to this new video again. Did you know our world is changing simultaneously with us? In this video, we will cover 10 futuristic architectures that will happen in real life. We assume it is possible near 2035. Watch the video till the end to know more. Stay tuned. The future of architecture goes beyond just being a building. It is a piece of art, something to marvel at. Here are 10 futuristic design concepts for architecture. Number 1. Fluid architecture. It is impossible to begin to start discussing futuristic design concepts without mentioning Zaha Hadid's flawless designs or Frank Gehry's fantastic parametric structures. Today, architecture can serve more than just as a building. It's a work of art, something to be marveled upon. It emphasizes the form of the building over its function. In contrast with modern architecture, fluid architecture emphasizes aesthetics. Construction methods and formal versatility have advanced by leaps and bounds, and this is just the beginning. This represents a significance in how we think about the built environment. It is an exciting new way of designing buildings that correspond to the ever-changing needs of our society. Number 2. Vertical gardens. Due to the reduction in open spaces, due to the increased use of concrete, steel, and glass, gardens also need to tower vertically. This is a sustainable approach to meeting the needs of the city. In addition to water reclamation and solar energy collection, vertical gardens can function as vegetation mats, green facades, or urban farms. Residents can also take advantage of a little bit of outdoor open space for themselves. Number 3. Subterranean architecture. Subterranean architecture is not new to us. Humans have resided in caves and tunnels already since primitive times. With more cities and states getting increasingly congested, the basements and buildings can be used for living, unlike just for parking. The subterranean structures will be able to provide enough privacy of spaces, much better than the regular superstructures can do. There is a sense of serenity and peace in the rock-cut structures that can be translated into contemporary architecture. Number 4. Underwater architecture. Our shorelines will be lost in a few years due to global warming. Unless we have significant changes in the climate, we will have to adapt to the situations that will be presented to us in the near future. The concept of underwater architecture is relatively new, and a bit of research has already been conducted on it. Firms like OMA and designers like Yves Behar have both proposed underwater sculpture parks and underwater habitats. It is essential to research this topic thoroughly before we embark on it, and we should always be cautious enough not to disturb the underwater ecosystem too much. Number 5. On-water architecture. Our architecture might have to shift to the aquatic instead of the land with the increasing level of water and population. Just as it did with underwater architecture, there has been much research done on aquatic ecosystems for quite some time now. Even though there is still much work to be done, it is a start. Floating cities have been an ancient concept in countries like Indonesia, where the landmass is surrounded by water. As a prototype for Archipelago, the Arc Ingles designed the Urban Rigger, a modular student housing project that is entirely sustainable. Archipelagos are completely sustainable, buoyant structures that can house up to 300 people. They can be grouped into entire cities that can still house more people per square kilometer than land-based cities. Number 6. Temporary architecture. The world is currently experiencing a pandemic. Other than that, the world faces a crisis in one part of it or another. Beyond that, the world is constantly changing as well. Temporary architecture is the only solution to all of these problems. These structures can be used for relief centers, temporary hospitals, rescue centers, schools, and much more. Shigeru Ban's work is one of the excellent precedents for those who are searching for this type of field. This architect used cheap, local sources of objects such as paper tubes, crates of beer, and clothes to build shelters for 310,000 people who were left homeless in the earthquakes or tsunamis. This is just a tip of his philanthropical works. Number 7. Pod living. The Japanese have become famous for their pod hotels, which are basically glorified hostels where individuals can rent a bed in a shared room and have access to other communal spaces, kitchens, and bathrooms. Due to rising real estate rates, lack of community living, and congestion in the cities where the youth live, pod living is going to be the next big thing. Number 8. Space architecture. As Mars is set to become inhabited within the next few decades, space architecture is right around the corner. Despite the adverse conditions that are to be faced, architects and designers will face a challenge with minor issues such as the inability to repair many things in space. Space architecture is an exciting and futuristic field of architecture that focuses on the design and construction of buildings and other structures in outer space. Space architects work with various materials and technologies to create innovative designs that can be adapted to the unique challenges of building in space. It is unknown what the future holds for space travel, but we have already begun living in space for 7 to 8 months and traveling in space. Number 9. Adaptive reuse. An adaptive reuse project repurposes an existing building for a new use. This can be done by repurposing the building for a different use or by adding new elements to the existing structure. Adaptive reuse is an integral part of sustainable architecture, as it allows us to make use of existing resources instead of creating new ones. It can also help to revitalize communities by breathing new life into old buildings. Whether it's the High Line in New York or the ruined pubs of Budapest, adaptive reuse is the use of existing infrastructure to give it a new purpose. Designing in this way is very sustainable. No debris is generated, and the carbon footprint is reduced as a result of the changes. When old GIDCs are converted into art museums, cafes, offices, lofts, shopping complexes, and studios, this is a beneficial approach. Number 10. Trash architecture. Trash architecture is a type of architectural design that uses trash as its primary material. This can include everything from using recycled materials to building entire structures out of garbage. The term trash architecture was first coined by architect William McDonough in 1996 and has since been used to say a wide range of eco-friendly building projects. Approximately 2.1 billion tons of waste are generated by humans every year, and we have no idea what to do with it. One solution is to use this waste as a building material. This has been investigated around the world. Architect Chris Kolaris has researched and designed ways to use oil shipment containers, which are bound to become useless as we switch from oil to renewable resources as floating cities, thus killing 2 birds with 1 stone. The future of architecture by 2035 will be exciting, with the potential for creativity and innovation to advance rapidly. We will likely see a rise in the popularity of eco-friendly designs that integrate sustainability into their concepts and more innovative materials used to create unique structures. As technology continues to increase, so will our ideas about what futuristic architecture should look like. It'll be interesting to watch what impressive designs our architects come up with over the next few years. Do let us know which of the architecture category you like the most. Also, don't forget to like the video, share it with your family and friends, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future video updates. See you soon. Take care.